Science at NASA. You know, NASA works with the international science community to explore our solar system and beyond. We look to unravel the mysteries that intrigue us all as we explore and answer the big questions. Questions like, how did the Earth originate and change over time? How did the solar system begin and evolve? And what will be its destiny? What will be our destiny? Last July 14th, NASA's New Horizons spacecraft flew past Pluto, capping a half-century of exploration of our solar system. It piqued our interest about what lies beyond Pluto and what can we learn about ourselves and the origins of our solar system. The idea of a new planet is certainly an exciting one for me as a planetary scientist, and I think for all of us. The January 20th paper in the Astronomical Journal is fueling our interest in planetary exploration and stimulating a healthy debate that's part of the scientific process. I couldn't be more pleased about what's happening. You know, it's all about starting the process that could lead to an exciting result. It is not, however, the detection of a new planet. It's too early to say with certainty that there's a so-called Planet X out there. What we're really seeing is an early prediction based on modeling from limited observations. What's exciting is that, like NASA's journey to Mars or New Horizons flyby of Pluto, you will have a front row seat to see how the scientific process unfolds. Theories like this serve to stimulate ideas and conversation. They tap into our innate curiosity. It's important for us to continue to work, and we will. Anytime we have an interesting idea like this, we always apply Carl Sagan's rules for critical thinking, which include independent confirmation of the facts, looking for alternate explanations, and encouraging scientific debate. If Planet X is out there, we'll find it together. Or we'll determine an alternate explanation for the data that we've received so far. Now, let's go explore.
As NASA has released a statement regarding Planet X. Calm down is what NASA is saying. Hold it a minute. Even though NASA confirmed there was a Planet X in 1984, they're now trying to reshift the focus. At the start of the year, a team of U.S. researchers predicted the existence of the mysterious ninth planet, much to the criticism of other experts. But a group of physicists in France then looked at their own models, along with the data from the Canassi spacecraft, to narrow down the search for the giant stellar body known as Planet X, or Nibiru. All right. Now, NASA's scientists have dismissed claims that an unexplained object is tugging on the spacecraft, and added that even if it did, the tugs would not be caused by a planet. Now, researchers involved have told Mail Online the NASA scientists are incorrect in their dismissal of the paper. Matter of fact, the unknown world, dubbed Planet 9 by some, Planet X by others, Nibiru, also Planet 7X, they're all others. It's thought to be about 10 times more massive than the Earth and the furthest planet from the Sun, but its exact location still unknown. Why do we think it's there if no one can see it other than NASA in 1984? And NASA set up a team of scientists for 7 years. Then they quit talking about it in 1992 when the lead scientist died. Yet I have spoken to those that worked on what was known as the Nibiru project in intelligence of space intelligence for the United States of America. Well, believe me, they know it's out there. As a matter of fact, why did NASA spend billions of dollars upgrading the Hubble telescope and other observatories around the world, including the South Pole? And why did the Vatican spend millions of dollars also with a telescope in Arizona named Lucifer looking for this planet or watching this planet, as well as other things going on in space. Well, NASA scientists have now said the spacecraft is not experiencing unexplained deviations in its orbit. Although reports a few days ago it was by NASA. Now NASA says, no, it's not. We're talking about that probe that goes around Saturn. All right? Now, an undiscovered planet outside the orbit of Neptune, also known as planet number 9, 10 times the mass of Earth, would affect the orbit of Saturn, not the probe, says William Faulkner, not the author, okay, a planetary scientist at the Jet Propulsion Laboratory. Faulkner develops planetary orbit information used for NASA's high precision spacecraft navigation. This could produce a signature in the measurements of the Saturn probe while in orbit about Saturn, if the planet was close enough to the Sun. But according to Professor Jacques Lasquer, researcher on the study on Toad Mail Online and others, this is exactly what we have done. We have simulated the presence of planet 9 and looked to the induced effect on the Earth-Saturn distance as measured by the Saturn probe. Our zones of exclusions occur when, he goes on to say, the deviation of planet 9 on Saturn is too large to be comparable with the data from the Saturn probe. With data from 2004 to 2014, the exclusion zones of 180 degrees wide. The press release from the Jet Propulsion Laboratory is very confusing, and essentially it's wrong, says Professor Lasker. We do not see any unexplained signature above the levels of the measurement noise with the Saturn probe data taken between the years 2004 and 2016. So there's a conflict now. Mike Brown, I was looking at my son's website, the Crusader Journal. He writes, however, it talks about Mike Brown, who NASA has said is their golden boy. He's the poster child to represent what NASA's been doing and saying. He says, without question, there's some type of gravitational tug on the Saturn probe and all the planets, according to NASA data and other scientific and studies, including the French, who are agreeing totally with Mike Brown. However, Mike Brown's claims have just been presented and have not yet been analyzed by independent researchers. NASA, however, did release a statement regarding the claims made by Mike Brown regarding their Saturn probe spacecraft. NASA has completely dismissed these claims, saying that there is no gravitational tug occurring on the Saturn probe. NASA also states that if there was a sudden gravitational tug happening to the probe spacecraft, it does not mean that it is a planet or Planet 9 or Planet X. So NASA is sending so many confusing messages. But that's not the first time, guys. Remember asteroid TX68? I had BP Earthwatch on my show about a month ago or so, and he showed us, and I seen it with my own eyes because I watch the earthquakes and asteroids on a daily basis, and they literally changed how close TX68 was going to go by the Earth 4 times. They changed the distance of it 4 times. I mean, are you serious? And the date that it would go by, they changed it from March 5th to March 8th to March 7th to March 5th to March 7th. 4 times. On the same chart. Everything else was consistent, but TX68, they changed its distance to the Earth anywhere from 3 million miles to 9,000 miles. And they just kept doing this, 4 different distances, 4 different dates, keeping us always in the dark. Here's the one thing they never would do. They never would put together for us the fact that we had a cluster of asteroids coming ahead of asteroid TX68 and a cluster that's come in behind it, all of which are near-miss objects of the Earth. NASA now is starting to play this same shell game as it relates to Nibiru or Planet X. So, again, they call it Planet X, Nibiru, Planet 9. Pluto was once a planet, so Pluto was Planet 9. Then they said Pluto's no longer a planet. Now they're saying, well, maybe it is a planet. This is all a shell game to keep everyone guessing. The problem is the astronomers, the French observators, the Vatican, a lot of the guys, the scientists up on the observatories up in Chile who say they saw it. They said in December they saw Planet X. They reported it. The reports that NASA had already told us they'd seen it in 1984. All of these things seem to be pointing to the fact that NASA is playing games. NASA, by the way, if you want to know what it means never a straight answer. This is what's going on. So we're going to continue to do what we do and watch what the Bible says. There will be signs in the sun and in the moon and in the stars. There will be distress of nations with perplexity, the sea and the waves roaring, and men's hearts will fail them for fear, for looking after those things that are coming on the earth. Men will die of heart attacks because of what they start to understand is coming on the earth. But Christians won't. We won't go hide in an underground bunker. We will not die because we understand what's coming. Instead, we will look up, for our redemption is drawing nigh. Christ is coming. Are you ready? Give your life to Jesus Christ. Trust in Jesus Christ above all.